All right, let's go ahead and open up the doors. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, it is my honor and privilege to bring to you empowering information that puts your own health back into your hands, but not just giving something to you in your own hands without knowing what to do with it. Because we can take the ball and then not know how to pass it and go down really fast. Well, folks, the information that you are going to be hearing in this program is not only giving you information that the FDA requires us to say is for educational purposes only on the importance of nutrition and is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor does this program or its products imply that they treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, when you give your body what it needs, and that's what you're going to hear about today, the body itself can do some amazing things and create some incredible transformations. So with that being said, if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them, and because they cared enough to take the time to share this program with you, because they know the value. I know you're going to find value in it as well. Now, as the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, I would like to invite each and every one of you, if you are not already taking part in an educational program that goes deeper into the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and a solution, not just the negative parts, but let's talk about solutions. We invite you to go to coachwithdoc.com. That is coachwithdoc.com, and get more information about our Certified Holistic Health Coach course. Now, if you were referred to by this program, whether it's live or the replay by somebody specific, get back with them first and say, hey, do you know anything about this Certified Holistic Health Coach course? I want more information. And if they don't, then feel free to go to coachwithdoc.com. This program is being sponsored by DailywithDoc.com, where we have replays from our previous shows. We also have the good foods, bad foods list that you will hear about on today's show. And we have educational information from pharmacist Benjamin Fuchs on there, as well as I have interviews with him. We have shorts with him and also Dr. Wallach. And we have a sign up for our newsletter. So folks, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. But going beyond the newsletter, we have a giveaway that is available to everybody and anyone, or anybody and everyone. If you go to dwdgiveaway.com, that is a sign up that allows you to be able to share this program and get points for it. So we're available on multiple platforms so that we can reach people where they're at. You know, when the information is there in front of you and it's easy to find, that's when more people who are not as inclined to health and wellness as you are will see that there are options. They do not have to be stuck in a model that's been failing them. So please go to DWD, that's short for Daily with Doc, DWDgiveaway.com, and start sharing the message and earn points, because those who have the most points will be earning prizes. And I'll have raffles that are going to be going on. This is going to be for starting out for the month of August, and then we'll be continuing promotions on each month or each quarter. Haven't decided yet, but we want to make sure that you are getting a thank you from us for sharing our program. Now, it is with great honor and privilege to be able to offer this as a live Zoom. So if you're watching on the replay and you would like to join us live, or you're watching a live stream and you'd like to join us live in our Zoom room, go to DailywithDocZoom.com. DailywithDocZoom.com. And for those of you who are here with us live today, hello and welcome. If you would like to ask a question, go to that Zoom menu and find the reactions and raise hand. All right. Raising that hand, put your hand up, and I call on people in the order that their hands are raised so that we can get to the people, especially who are here live with us. Now also make sure you have that chat open. One of the biggest benefits of being here live with us is the information that's shared in that chat, because we don't share it anywhere else. So in the chat, we have Dr. Wallach's recommendations that will be posted. And these are Dr. Wallach's recommendations based on his research. And folks, if you don't know who Dr. Wallach is, this man has been very instrumental in not only the human world, but he started out in the animal world. And for most of you who know how products are developed and such, there's a lot of animal testing. Well, Dr. Wallach wasn't testing animals for products. He was doing autopsies on animals, trying to figure out why they were dying, why disease was occurring within these animals. And then he was part of one of the first things that started, is actually the second thing. He was very instrumental and the lead pathologist on a project that saved the white rhino from extinction. Not only that, he found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis in a monkey, found the cause of it, addressed his recommendations for a cure for it, and found out that it's not genetic. So folks, if you've been told that you have a genetic condition, fear no more. Possibilities, it's not genetic. And you're going to hear more about that today in today's program. So without further ado, it is my honor and privilege to bring to you the one, the only, Dr. Joel Wallach, who has a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, a Doctorate of Veterinary Medicine, 3 postdoctorates in pathology, and a naturopathic physician. Hello, Dr. Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc. What information do you have to share with us today?
Well, thank you for the kind history and introduction. Thank you for the entire team for being here today. Today, I want to talk about the good food, bad food list. And one of the things I want to talk about, this was big news today. The big medical colleges, a study of 100,000 people. It's on the East Coast. You can guess which ones they are. They came out and said that the consumption of sugar is associated with chronic liver disease and liver cancer. Okay. They were inferring that the consumption of sugar was related to the cause of liver disease and liver cancer. Well, again, they're missing it by a million miles. When you have pica, which is a behavior that talks about nutritional deficiencies, particularly minerals, you're looking for something to satisfy that craving, and sugar is one of the big things. And of course, the food market knows this. When people are looking for something, if you give them something with sugar, they're going to keep eating it over and over and over and over because it satisfies that pica craving, which is caused by mineral deficiencies. And mineral deficiencies, cause chronic liver disease and can contribute to higher rates of liver cancer. Okay. And so this is one of the things we really began to see when we were doing all these autopsies from the NIH project, $21 million study, 10 years, and 20,000 autopsies, Washington University in St. Louis. It's published as a national treasure in the Smithsonian Institute Library, the National Library. Very proud of that. And so we came up with a good food, bad food list. Okay. And when you hear me give lectures, there's always things that you have to do to add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life, one of which is the good food, bad food list. And we came up with a book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It's 300 pages of good food, bad foods, recipes, and so forth. And it gives you in very bold letters, so you can't make any mistakes, the good food, bad food list. Okay, and I like to say no fried foods, because when you fry, when you heat, there you go, when you heat fats to frying temperatures, they turn into trans fats, which cause inflammation and contribute to the possibility of cancer. And then absolutely no fried foods, no processed meats. We're talking about processed meats. We're talking about ham, bacon, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, hot dogs, because they contain a lot of chemicals, okay, including nitrates. And of course, that was my first scientific publication, which got me that $21 million grant. And the publication, okay, was because a farmer brought me 50 dead lambs when I was working my way through veterinary school, working in the pathology department. This was middle of December 1963, a year and a half before I graduated veterinary school. And he brought me 50 dead lambs. He said, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" He says, "Well, I was feeding these lambs, and we're going to shear them, the entire flock, we're going to shear them after Christmas, which is a couple of weeks from now. And then we're going to take them to slaughter, the slaughterhouse, after New Year's. They're about 6 months old now. They were all perfectly normal." I said, "Well, how many were there?" "Oh, we had 500, okay." And he said, "This morning they were all dead." "What? Well, were they showing any signs of sickness yesterday?" "No." He said, "They're perfectly normal, running around, making their noises and chasing each other, jumping in and out of the wagon and stealing food and so forth, doing what lambs do. But this morning they were all dead." And I said, "Are you surrounded by other farms?" "Yes." "Okay, what other animals are around you?" "None." He says, "They all just, grow wheat around oats and hay." I said, "Corn." He said, "Okay. What fertilizer do they use?" "Well, they all use nitrate fertilizers because it gives them the maximum yield for the least amount of money." "Okay, I need to get some water from the pond that these lambs are getting their drinking water from." And he calls up, and in 2 hours, I had a couple of 5-gallon buckets full of the water. And sure enough, it was just loaded with nitrates from the fertilizers from the neighboring farms. These lambs have been drinking high nitrate water for 6 months. And the reason why 500 died in one night was the temperature drop. We've been running in middle Missouri. You're looking at, because the heat comes up from the Gulf of Mexico up the Mississippi River, and warms the center part of Missouri during the wintertime. And the temperatures run 35, 45, 50, 35, 45, 50. Well, the night they all died, the temperature dropped to 16. This is from the National Weather Service. Okay. And so this is why it all happened. And I got it published. And that was my first scientific publication. And it was in the Journal of Veterinary Medicine. Okay. And I wanted to do it as a pollution thing, but the editors of the journal, they changed the name to Hypothyroidism in Feeder Lambs. It was kind of a vanilla title, but it got through Marlon Perkins, the old Mutual Omaha Kingdom show, who I worked for many years at the zoo, St. Louis Zoo. He took that paper because I gave him a rough copy of the original writing of it. And he and see here, from Washington University in St. Louis, okay, got the $21 million grant using my thesis, or not my thesis, but my paper on the lambs dying, okay? And Barry Commoner was the head of the Department of Biology there at Washington University. So it was Marlon Perkins, Barry Commoner, and me. Okay, so that was very exciting. And it's been a long road, but we have found the cause, prevention, and cures of over 600 different diseases were said to be genetic and autoimmune. There are no genetically transmitted diseases or no autoimmune diseases. And sugar does not cause cancer. Sugar does not cause liver disease, but the cravings, pica, do occur when you're minerally deficient. Mineral deficiencies will cause liver disease, okay? And if you have mineral deficiencies and you're eating a lot of fried foods and other bad stuff, you're at a high risk for cancer. So there's many things involved with the liver cancer. It's not just eating sugar. Sugar didn't cause it, but eating sugar is a sign that you're nutritionally deficient. That's called pica. Look it up, PICA. Okay, so I would thank these medical schools on the East Coast for their observations, but I would challenge them on sugar being the cause of the liver disease and sugar being the cause of liver cancer. Okay, I would challenge them on those things. But again, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no salad dressings, no cooking oils, because they sit in a bottle in a barn for 2 years sometimes after they're made in the factory. And they go in and out of summer, and the temperature in the barns get to be, 120 degrees, and they turn into trans fats. And when you use them, they contribute to all kinds of diseases, including cancer. So you do not want to be eating oils from bottles. Okay, don't do it. We have essential fatty acids that are produced in small factories that it's like underwater. We pump it full of nitrogen, so there's no oxygen in there. We pump nitrogen into the soft gel capsules that the oil goes into. We pump the oxygen into the bottles that they go into, so to flush the nitrogen and nitrates out of there. Okay, and so we're very, very aware of all this kind of stuff. All right, and we want to protect people and educate people, and so that's why we do the show here, the Ask Doc Live. That's why we do live lectures around the world. We're starting to work on them again because I think the COVID thing might turn out to be an annual event, like the measles and other viral diseases that occur every spring, every winter, every fall. Okay, and because the conditions are correct, and so the COVID thing might not be over forever and ever and ever, but during the summertime, the numbers drop and so forth. So all these things. So, and then of course, no sugar. Okay, if you're eating sugar, no gluten, no wheat, no rye oats, no buckwheat. There's no gluten in buckwheat, but buckwheat has phagopyrenes, phagopyrenes, which are 10 times worse than gluten, destroying your intestinal lining. Okay, then no sugar. And if you'll get up in the middle of the night and creep into the kitchen and drink a couple of bottles of soda pop or drink all this juice and everything because you want the sugar, this means you have nutritional deficiencies, and this is called pica, and that's what's going on here. It's the pica that's causing you to crave sugar so much. Then absolutely no carbonated drinks. No carbonated drinks of any kind. Okay, whether it's carbonated juices or carbonated soft drinks, even the carbonated water, because carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, so you can't absorb minerals or digest food. You need the stomach acid for that. The good Lord gave us the ability to make stomach acid so we could digest food and absorb minerals. Okay, it's not like you get all these medicines on the shelves in the grocery stores and any place. You can get them in the grocery stores. Okay, you get them in the places where they sell over-the-counter drugs, any place. Okay, pharmacies, and guess what? You have problems. Okay, when you're going after those antacids, because you're contributing to whatever's going on that's bad. You're contributing to it. Doing anti-acid is very bad. Okay, now, with all that said, getting rid of the bad stuff is just part of the deal. And of course, Rebecca showed you that book, Dr. Wallach, Cooking Without the Bad Foods. There's 300 pages of safe recipes. Okay, and it does have it printed very nicely, the good food, bad food list. Okay, and also you need to take the 90 essential nutrients, give your body what it needs so it won't have pica. Okay, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And we came up at first with what we call the Healthy Start Pack. And then when we ran into Theo Ratliff and he had all these joint problems, we added our first source of collagen. We call it collagen. Let's see here.
Glucogel.
Yeah, thank you. Glucogel. It was our first one many years ago. Glucogel. And the glucogel, okay, with our Healthy Start Pack became the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. We were able to rebuild
Theo?
we were able to rebuild Theo, okay, rebuild him, and he came back. They wanted to amputate his legs and do double knee replacements, and he lost his $35,000 a year job with the Atlanta Hawks. He's only 24 years old, and so we rebuilt him, and he came back, and he played for 11 more years, made $100 million, and he has this beautiful facility that he makes available to people in Alabama, and maybe the world. Okay, they come from all over the place to go there and learn how to be part of our great system in longevity. So we can't thank Theo enough. He could have just taken his money and run, but he puts back into the people of his community. So I can't thank him enough for doing that. Okay, so with that, and of course, we have programs for diabetes. We have programs for high blood pressure. We have programs for arthritis, osteoporosis. We can save America trillions of dollars a year. I'm going to repeat that. We can save America trillions of dollars a year if everybody takes supplements with their 90 essential nutrients, avoids all the bad stuff. And if they do have problems when they start, we have programs for over 600 different diseases: diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, osteoporosis, dental problems, ringing in the ears, balance problems, eye problems, getting up 10 times a night to urinate. Okay, all these things are simple nutritional deficiencies causing symptoms. Okay, and we've put all this together, and guess what? You will benefit for it. Believe me, just to spend a few bucks a month to get 25 to 50 more healthy years with the people you love, doing the things you love to do, isn't it worth a couple of bucks a month? Okay, with all that said, it's over to you, Becca.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Folks, yes, you can find the good foods, bad foods list in Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And you can find that book on drjwallach.com, along with all of Dr. Wallach's publications, including the Dead Doctors Don't Lie, his best seller of them all, both in English, and the book is also in Spanish. So for those of you who would prefer to have a Spanish copy, there is that. And then all of his CDs are available there as well. Again, that's www.drjwallach.com. Well, Dr. Wallach, we have some questions for you, and I have a ton of questions that are coming in on email and wanting to know what the good doctor has to say, both for humans and animals, because I mean, we're not all animals are mammals, but all humans are mammals. Well, lots of mammal questions, Dr. Wallach. And I just want to do a shout out to all of our radio listeners also on KSCO and KOMY. We want to thank MZ and Dave Michaels for continuing to air Dr. Wallach on their programming at this time. So thank you, gentlemen, and thank you to all of the radio listeners. And folks, if you are an influencer or you have connections with somebody that could really be interested in making an impact on their communities and helping their communities to find better health, please contact us. You can go to DailywithDoc.com, use that contact us, and send me an email letting me know about programming that would benefit from airing with Dr. Wallach and this message. And the nice thing about that is, if you are also interested in creating an income, we do have it's formulated like an affiliate program that would allow you then to be able to benefit from all of your efforts. So we do send out thank you checks and want to just make this information available to everybody, and not just have you do all the work, but thank you for the work that you're doing. So I want to just make sure that everybody knows that that is clear. And as I'm looking here, do I have any questions in the chat yet? I know that there were there have been a little quiet today, Dr. Wallach. Yesterday was just flooded with questions and hands and everything. So that's going to give me time to pull up these questions.
Okay.
So here we go, Dr. Wallach. We have somebody asking about hard water. Okay. And I know hard water is it's been identified as, or properly made known as, whether it's correct or not, as water that's high in minerals. So the question here is, could you please speak on mineral content in water versus mineral intake associated with an organic molecule, if that is a thing?
Okay. Well, let's look at two communities. I want to compare the United States, okay, with Hunza. Okay, both human populations. The Huns are very primitive people. They don't have any medical doctors. They still use herbalists and that sort of thing. Okay, their life expectancy is 120. Many live to be 130, 140, 150. In America, we have more medical doctors than most countries have citizens, okay? And the medical doctors beat their chests and stand on top of the wall and say, we have the best healthcare system in the world. Well, we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world, but we do have a problem when it comes to healthcare, okay? And so doctors know very little about nutrition because they don't get taught anything about nutrition in medical school, or very little, okay? Either some schools, nothing, some schools, very little. Veterinary schools and agricultural schools teach a lot about nutrition, okay? Because we don't have health insurance and stuff like that. And so we do things by nutrients. So what's the difference between Hunza and the United States? Well, the Hunza lives in the land flowing with milk and honey. Okay, if you're a biblical person, you know what that means. You go back to the time of Adam. He lived to be 930, and Noah lived to be 950, and Methuselah lived to be 969, and many, many other angels who were running around telling God's story lived to be 800s, 700, 600, 500. So what was going on? Well, they were living in the land flowing with milk and honey. And it wasn't cow's milk or goat's milk or llama milk or camel milk or lamb's milk. Guess what? It was glacial milk. It was the glaciers grinding up rocks on top of the mountains, and the water coming down from the mountains had this rock dust in it. And in chapter 10 of that book, Rare Herbs and Cures, the chapter is entitled Glacial Milk. We have some analyses of various different glacial milks from around the world. And this is where they have all these trace minerals that add many healthy years to your life. And so the people who lived in the land flowing with milk and honey were living off of these minerals, were blessed by the good Lord, okay? And there's 21 great stories in the Old Testament from 3,000 years ago, okay? 21 stories, anywhere from 2 paragraphs to 2 pages long, telling about these long-lived people who lived in the land flowing with milk and honey. And then there's also 100 mentions in the Old Testament where they're talking about something else, and they mention that this person came to the land flowing with milk and honey. 100 mentions. So when you have that much information in the old Bible 3,000 years ago, they didn't have all the technology to analyze the glacial milk and determine that it was minerals as opposed to cow's milk, okay? And so they didn't have that ability to do that, but they knew that there was something in that milk coming down from the top of the mountain that added many healthy years to people's lives, okay? They didn't get sick, they lived longer, and so this is very, very interesting. And it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, you have to appreciate hard water. And you have to look at this lady who died in November of last year. She was 115 years of age. I'm trying to find out if she lived in a place that had hard water in it, okay, because of it was bottomland, or maybe there was like water coming from a mountain or something. Why did she live to be 115? It wasn't, and she just said she ate a lot of sugary stuff and stayed away from doctors. When she was asked what she attributed to living to be 115, those were the 2 things she said. Okay, so there had to be something else she didn't know about. And hard water, okay, They're talking about hard water clogging up things that have small tubes and stuff. Okay. But you wanted hard water. This is when you irrigated with that, you had better crops. That was the bottomland story. Okay. When in the spring, everything would melt up in the mountains and the water would come down the rivers and streams it looked like milk. Okay. Glacial milk. And when the flood water would recede in a couple of weeks, it left all this minerals, the silt, and people would plow it in. And the people who lived around these, what was called bottomland, guess what? They didn't have to buy fertilizer, so they saved a lot of money because they're getting natural fertilizer every year. And then also they lived longer. People who lived in bottomland and ate the food that was grown on bottomland lived many years longer than the people who didn't have any association with bottomland, which was hard water. The reason why the Hunses live to be 120, 130, 140, 150 is because they're getting this hard water from the Himalayan mountains, okay, consistently. They drink it, they cook with it, they irrigate with it, they irrigate their cropland, they irrigate their gardens around their homes, they give it to their animals, and so even the milk that the animals give have more nutrients in it. That when you have animals that are giving milk and they don't have access to all these minerals. So hard water in of itself is not bad. Now, there's nothing wrong with testing your water if you have water coming from a stream or from a well, because you want to make sure there's no bad. You want to make sure there's no lead or
No
mercury.
nitrates.
Yeah, uranium. All yeah, yeah. You want to make sure that there's none of the bad stuff above the limits. There is a limit. You want a little bit of arsenic because arsenic kills parasites. So arsenic also stimulates. Arsenic is good for the liver, okay, in small amounts, but too much is bad. There was a story just a couple of days ago where a very famous lady, okay, who was a girlfriend of a very famous movie actor. She died because she drank too much. She drank too much water. She drank, I don't know, three of these.
She said half a gallon in 20 minutes is what the article said, Doctor.
Oh, okay, she drank a half a gallon of water and she died. And so that was just water from the tap. Okay, water. Okay, this was soft water. And so hard water is not anything to be concerned about as long as it doesn't have high levels of lead and mercury and uranium and other bad metals. Okay, so that's why we have the hair analysis. You cannot get this information from a blood test. Okay, and so we have a hair analysis. You get that book that Rebecca showed up there, Rare Earths and Cures, chapter 10-11. It starts at 272, tells you how to collect the hair, how to package it, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in there because they won't run the test without it. But you get many charts back. The two that I like are the nutritional minerals that are necessary for good health and longevity. The second one, the toxic metals. And so those two charts are prominent in the hair analysis you get back. It takes a couple of weeks. And if you work around chemicals, it wouldn't hurt to get a hair analysis every year. It wouldn't. I'm sure you'd be able to get that tax deduction because if you're working around chemicals, that's a protection for you. So it would be a tax deductible expense for the hair analysis.
If you're a small business.
There you go.
Just as an individual, I don't know that you can write off unless
I would ask your tax person because if you're working around toxic metals, this is a way you can find out if you have toxic metals in your body. Okay. And so that may be still tax deductible, even if you're not running a business. If you are running a longevity business, it'll definitely be tax deductible. Okay. So with all that said,
all right,
back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, on that. I know hard water when it comes to pipes within the house and then having to do the cleaning from the sinks and the toilets and everything that creates that hard water film is not friendly, but those minerals are what we need in our body. And I love the fact, Dr. Wallach, that I can have the soft water in my home and I can still have the plant-dried minerals in my water because I intentionally put it there with our plant-dried minerals or with our mineral sticks, which also gives me a full dose of collagen.
There you go.
Longevity stuff. Yeah. So let's go to the next question, Dr. Wallach. And again, folks, if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Find the option under reactions. And first, we're going to go to AJ. AJ, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, Doc. How are you today?
Okay, sir. How can we help you?
There's a gentleman named Morgan who's 53 years old and 5'10" and weighs 230 pounds. He's been trying to lose weight and he's gotten a little healthier, lost a little bit of weight, but he's concerned about lectins and leaky gut. And he wanted to know what you had to say about that topic.
AJ, what did he say? How tall is he?
He's 5'10" and 230 pounds.
Okay, so maybe 40, 50 pounds overweight. Okay. And maybe even in the metabolic syndrome range, if a lot of that weight is in his belly. And do we know if he has any diabetes or high blood pressure? He didn't say.
He didn't mention that, no, sir.
Okay. A lot of times they won't mention if they think they have it under control with prescription drugs. Okay. But anyway, so what he needs to do is get rid of all the bad foods. Dr. Wallach is talking about the bad foods. Okay. No bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rice, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks and also the carbonated water need to go. And then I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 of those at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, all that kind of stuff. And when you have pica, you have cravings. And so that's why people tend to be overweight, because they are missing particularly minerals. Okay. And so also, wouldn't hurt for him to do a hair analysis to see what's going on there, see if he's absorbing. Okay, that if he's not absorbing, he's not going to get the benefit of supplementing. So he needs to find out if he's absorbing. So a hair analysis would be useful again. And again, that's that book, Rare Earths and Cures, chapter 10 and 11, starts at page 272. And then we want him to have 1 meal a day, or let's see here, a keto shake. They come in chocolate and strawberry. This is a meal replacer. It is not to add to a meal. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day. And start out with just 1 meal a day. It's a keto shake. Again, a meal replacer, not to add to a meal, but a meal replacer. And he'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. We do this hundreds and hundreds of times a month. Rebecca lost over 100 pounds using the keto shake in that system. Okay. And so it's one of those things where we know this works. We do it again thousands of times a month all over the world for weight loss. And we covered the metabolic syndrome yesterday. And it's not unusual for people with a metabolic syndrome not only have a weight problem, but they also have diabetes and high blood pressure and arthritis and heart disease, liver disease, all this other stuff, okay, which has to be dealt with supplementation. And so this is why they need the information, so they can get the right nutrients to add to it. But that's why I like the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. It has 215 nutrients in it, 215 nutrients in it. So people always want to know, well, what's the one? They just want to take chlorine, or they just want to take zinc or something like that. No, that won't work. Okay. You need you need everything, all the ingredients, just like your car. Your car needs gasoline, your car needs oil, your car needs antifreeze, your car needs just, let's see here, it needs brake fluid. It needs fluid for your differentials and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Your transmission. And so people treat their cars better than they treat themselves. But if you get on this system, you will lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And if you need to lose 50 pounds, you're looking at anywhere from 2 to 5 months, you'll be down to where you need to be. Now, how long do you have to stay on this diet? Forever. Forever. Okay, how long you need oxygen? Forever. How long you need water? Forever. How long you need the 90 essential nutrients? Forever. Can you get the 90 essential nutrients just by eating well? No, not even close. Okay, plants only need 3 minerals, and they do not make minerals. We do not make minerals, and we need 60. And so the only way you're going to be able to get what you need is to supplement. The reason why the Huns has lived to be 120 and 30 and 140, 150 is because they live in the land flowing with milk and honey. All these glaciers are grinding up the rocks up at the top of the Himalayan mountains. This rock dust comes down in the creeks and streams, and this is what they drink. This is what they cook with. This is what they irrigate with their gardens and their farms. And that's why they live so long. They're getting the land flowing with milk and honey like the biblical days.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and Dr. Wallach, we're gonna move right over to Sherry, who has her hand up for a client. Sherry, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. This is actually from one of our listeners, our guest today, and his name is Alberto, and he has a Marfan Syndrome. He says his ascending aorta is enlarged. Is there something we can help him with, and is it curable?
Okay, how old is he?
He doesn't say.
Okay, well, Marfan syndrome, how much does he weigh?
It doesn't say.
We'll go by 100 pounds then, okay, per 100 pounds.
Okay,
You're saying he has Marfans, right?
correct.
Yeah, okay. Well, these are diseases of the vascular system, okay? And the arteries get aneurysms, big balloons that rupture and you die quickly. You get stuff going on in your veins, and you get thrombosis and blood clots and so on. And so this is something where he needs to get rid of all the bad foods. He needs the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking About the Bad Foods. It has a good food, bad food list in it. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. You know, the diet drinks need to go, and also the carbonated water needs to go. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, I want him to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose twice a day if he only weighs 100 pounds, but if he weighs 150 pounds or more, I'd have him take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, so he can take a full dose twice a day. He also needs 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone raised bone cell, and arteries and veins. Okay, very important here. And then we also want him to have our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. You can take 3 of those twice a day. It'll be 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. They'll support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries, and also will support healthy blood pressure. It'll make the kidneys happy, which goes along with Marfan's, okay? The kidneys are unhealthy. The blood pressure goes up because they want to do their job, which is to make urine, to get rid of the bad stuff. And so you need the blood pressure to be at a certain level to drive blood into the kidneys. And so if you are having problems, your kidney releases a hormone. Most people don't know this, but your kidney will release a hormone to drive your blood pressure up. You get more blood going into the kidneys so you can urinate out more bad stuff. And that's why we have high blood pressure. It's because the kidneys are putting out this hormone to drive your blood pressure up. So more blood will go through the kidneys, okay, because of the blocked arteries. So many, many times, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a high percentage, maybe 75% of high blood pressure is due to the kidney pumping out those hormones.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right, thank you so much, Sherry. And Dr. Wallach, I have a question coming in from Marion. Marion says she's 73 years old, 106 pounds.
I missed
She
that.
was
How old
I'm
is she?
sorry,
How old is she?
73.
Oh, 73. Okay.
Yep. She says, I was diagnosed with extensive arthritis of the neck and shoulder, showed on x-rays, wants to know what vitamins she should be taking to help with the arthritis and the pain. Also, her glucose levels came back high. So how can I get that lowered?
Okay. Several things she needs to do here. Number one, get rid of the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and carbonated water need to go. And then at 106 pounds, I want her to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day, 1 bottle a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 twice a day. And that's going to help her rebuild cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue in her joints, in her neck, and her everywhere else. Because you have osteoporosis and arthritis in your neck, you got it in every joint in your body. You don't have it, you just don't get it regionally. Okay. And then let's see here. She also had some blood sugar issues. Is that correct?
Blood sugar issues came back on her last blood.
Yeah. Okay. Then I want her to get 2 bottles a month of our sweeties, so you take 3 twice a day. If she's on blood sugar medicine, don't cold turkey off of that. but as the blood sugar begins to drop, she can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Okay, the same way if she's on high blood pressure medication, don't cold turkey off of that, but as this gets better, she'll be able to slowly lower that medication. Okay, and all of these things that she is complaining about are nutritional deficiency disease. Nutritional deficiency diseases, okay? They're not genetic, not autoimmune, okay? And so Marion is in good shape because everything she has, she can take supplements for and stay away from the bad foods and all go away very quickly. So I always say, give me 90 days, but usually within 2 to 6 weeks, you're seeing major dramatic positive benefit. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And Erin is writing in about her teenage son who has Osgood-Schlatter's disease. Recently read that many kids with this problem have a low vitamin D level. His orthopedist said nothing about vitamin D. I've started to increase his vitamin D. Is that okay?
Okay, Osgood-Schlatter disease. That's a bone disease, correct?
From my understanding, yes.
Okay. And so, yeah. And so
What?
we don't have any weight on this kid.
Yeah. So let's go by 100 pounds, Dr. Wallach.
Okay. So bone issues. Remember, kids in America, we have, I don't know, it's like 300,000 kids in America that have arthritis. How many of those would be called Osgood-Schlatter disease? Okay. But at any rate, they need to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, no oats, no buckwheat, no carbonated water, no carbonated drinks of any kind. I said no carbonated water. Okay. And then they need per 100 pounds of body weight, one healthy brain and heart pack. They only weigh 60, 70, 80 pounds or something like that, or 120 pounds, be half a dose twice a day of the healthy brain and heart pack. If they weigh 135 to 150 pounds, I'd go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose twice a day. Then they also need the MSM, 2 bottles a month. If they're up in that upper higher weight group, take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time, and they'll help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes bone itself, including the bone marrow. And then they also need our, let's see here. I would go with the collagen peptides, take a scoop of that with the morning drink, with the evening drink. This kiddo needs to have a rebound or sports drink. Okay, depending on body weight, you could have anywhere from 1 sports drink a day to 2 sports drinks a day. I like the sticks. There's 30 sticks in a box in the canister with the powder. It's 36 servings in there. We do have 12-ounce cans. There's 12-ounce cans in this case, but they do have carbonation in them. So if he's going to drink the cans, he's got to pop the tops on them the night before he drinks them, put them in the refrigerator. It'll be flat the next day. And so then we need to hear back from him, see how he's doing, because kids recover very quickly if they're given all the right stuff and avoid all the bad stuff.
So Dr. Wallach, it's saying that it has to do with the patellar tendon, which is that tendon that stretches over the kneecap, saying that there's inflammation and pain and swelling. So is there anything that you would do differently? I know that and I was very glad to hear that you mentioned the collagen peptides and the MSM.
I would not do anything differently. And so again, people are looking for the one mineral or the one vitamin. Okay. You're not going to be happy with the results, because every tissue, whether it's your patellar tendon, okay, it's the vertebrae in your neck, it's your jawbone, it's your shoulder, it's your vertebrae in your lumbar area in your back, okay, it's in your big toe in your left foot. They all need the same 90 essential nutrients. And just to give them one to try and solve a problem, you may get a little benefit, but everything else is getting worse. Okay. And so you want to do it correctly. You're getting a red warning light. Respect that red warning light. Do it correctly. Take everything the body needs, and you'll be blessed. Otherwise, you'll say, yeah, I tried it and it didn't work well for me. Okay. I'm so sick of those stories. They say, well, did you take the whole thing? No, I just, I went to the drugstore and got some of those minerals for blood sugar. Did you take the other 89? No. Okay, well, there's your problem.
Yeah, fractionated nutrition does not work, folks. Trust me on that one. I tried it for many, many years. Fractionated nutrition does not work. Fractionated supplementation does not work. You need the full 90 essential nutrients. Now, Dr. Wallach, I know we're getting real close on your time. You have to go.
Got
Real
time for one quick one.
5'9", 185 pounds, diagnosed with kidney failure, and has been started on dialysis. Is there a way to restore the kidneys?
Yes,
And they do have high blood pressure as well.
which usually goes along with dialysis. Okay, so needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. Dr. Wallach's clicking out the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and carbonated water. Then at 135 pounds, if on dialysis, I'd have him take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, the full dosing twice a day, 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so they can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And let's see here. Then I want him to have 2 of the little canisters of the collagen peptides, so you can take a scoop of that, the morning drink, scoop of the evening drink. Because of the high blood pressure, I'm going to get 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take a scoop of that. Excuse me, not a scoop. Take a dose of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets at breakfast. It'd be 3 of those capsules at breakfast and 3 at dinner time. If you're on dialysis, I'd go with 3, 3, and 3. I'd go with 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. I take 3 twice a day, and I'm not on dialysis. And I weigh 142, okay? And the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets will help them get off of the dialysis, help the blood pressure drop into the normal range. But don't cold turkey off of any high blood pressure medication. As the blood pressure begins to drop, and I had people who were on dialysis 6 days a week for 10 years. They hadn't urinated in 10 years, okay? We got them on our program. In 2 weeks on our program, which I just outlined, they started urinating, so they dropped the dialysis after 10 years, 6 days a week, down to 3 days a week. In another 2 weeks, they eliminated dialysis completely, okay, because everything was normal, okay? And it just needed the nutrition. And so they can expect to see a great positive response by doing all these nutritional things we just discussed. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. I have seen it also happen. So, Dr. Wallach, thank you again for sharing this time with us, and have a great rest of your day sharing that there is hope, folks. Bye for now, Doc.
Bye.
And if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with me, I would greatly appreciate that, because I could not do this program without them. They are absolutely incredible, and they are donating their time, their service. I mean, there's times where Ruth Ellen and I, or AJ and I, are working till wee hours of the morning to put content together to make sure everything is streaming correctly, and to make sure that we're streaming to where you are at. So if you're watching one of our streams, please go ahead and give us a like, subscribe to our channel, write in the comments where you are joining us from, whether you're watching the live stream or the replay. We want to know where you are and what you're doing. And for those of you who are not working with a longevity distributor, and you would like to get connected with a coach to help you pick out exactly what is the best protocol based on Dr. Wallach's recommendations to meet your health goals, give us a call, 855-949-3377. Again, that's for those that are not working with somebody already. Get back with that person that you're working with, because I know for a fact we have some amazing, incredible, and people full of heart and love and compassion, just really doing this to make that impact in their communities, and that includes you. So if you're working with somebody, get back with them. If you're not working with anybody, again, 855-949-3377, or if you prefer, send us an email. Go to DailywithDoc.com and use that contact option from the website. Again, good foods, bad foods list on the website, a store with all of the products that Dr. Wallach mentioned for those who are not working with somebody already. is also available on our website, and to sign up for our newsletter is on the website, but go to dwdgiveaway.com and get signed up as somebody who cares enough about others to share this message as well. Ruth Ellen, thank you so much for all you do as the executive production manager of this program. We appreciate you. AJ as her assistant and helping to make sure that the three of us don't miss anything. Thank you, AJ. We have Marilyn, who is doing dictation into the chat, which is one of the biggest bonuses of being here with us live in our Zoom room, which you can access Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time by going to DailywithDocZoom.com. She does a fabulous job putting that information in there. And accompanied by her is Sherry, who is also putting information in that chat and making sure that people have something that they can take a screenshot of and then follow or click and follow later. And we have Albert, who is the newest member to our team, who is really helping to make sure people are getting into the Zoom quickly and checking out all of the gallery, making sure that if your camera is on, that the things going on beyond your camera is not going to be an embarrassment to you. So everybody, thank you again for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Again, my name is Becca Dukes. I am honored and privileged to be the leader of this crew, but also the director of student services with the Institute of Holistic Health and a 3-star with Longevity. Until next time, bye for now.
Recording stopped.